Hell yeah. What's going on? It's just me, it's Chief. I'm all by myself today. All by myself. I made a mistake. I didn't make a mistake. I we should have taken a week off. Maybe Christmas Eve. Um, and then just because I'm in Ireland, I'm flying back to London on Tuesday. And I was like, no, we'll put out an episode on Christmas Eve and on New Year's Eve. And then by God, I'll figure out something. I'll record an episode in Ireland. I'll get a camera and a studio. And it didn't happen. I couldn't make it happen. I tried. Oh, by God, I tried. So I've had to resort to doing an episode by myself because I don't want to miss a week. I want it to be. I don't want you guys to not have CHIEFCAST in your life, even for a week. What would happen to society if you 6 people didn't get your weekly dose of absolute fucking nonsense? So here we are. It's just me. We'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll fucking fuck it. Fuck it. We're pissing in the wind. We're gonna see what happens this week. Everything will be back to normal next week. I'm back in London on Tuesday with Hamdog and with guests lined up, and by God, some fantastic guests are coming up. But oh, sorry, I have some disease. I've been sick all week. I feel like a fucking bag. Do you know when you can almost like pinpoint the person who fucking made you sick, but you can't prove it? You're like, you little fucking cunt. But I know who it was, but we won't name names. But I hope you're all well. Happy New Year. Happy fucking. Can you hear my voice? I sound like I'm fucking after smoking 40 a day. Oh Jesus, lads, put on a mask when you're listening to this, because you don't know what's gonna if it's transferable. Oh fuck. Anyway, could be, I don't know. I hope you're well. Happy New Year. Back in Ireland. Back in Ireland. Back in the game. Anyway, what am I doing? I haven't slept in fucking, oh God, 6 months. I don't know. So I'm a bit fucking loopy. But I'm back in Ireland. The post Christmas fucking blues. Fuck me, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it, man. The whole fucking, like, my little brother's almost went in tears the other day because it's like just the whole build up, and then because you kind of, there's a suspension of reality a bit at Christmas because you've got all this shit going on. You're like, you know what, fuck, Christmas is coming. Just, I'll deal with it after Christmas. Christmas is that one time of the year where it's, you put everything on ice, on hold, and you enjoy your time, and then all your shit is just waiting for you on the 1st of January. The first day of a new shit fucking cunting year. So there's a bit of that, because you're like, and then you also know for like the next 2 weeks, Christmas, and then the week of after, you're like, no one's expecting anything from me. I can just fuck around and eat. I put on about 6 kg, 7 kg. Do you know what it was? I thought I was getting me whole when I came back to Ireland for Christmas. I thought I had something nice lined up. So the whole time leading up to Christmas, like, right, I better be looking good. Better be looking nice and fucking slim for the lover that I'm going to take. And then I get back, and sure it didn't materialise. So I was like, do you know what? Then I'm gonna fucking eat myself into diabetes. Yeah, I just, it's been bad. It's been fucking like just eating myself into just comas, like just fucking just lying there, just covered in quality street rappers and just fucking, oh fuck. Not good. But Christmas was nice. It was nice. It was good. I hope your Christmas was good. The thing with Christmas is that, like, I enjoy solitude. You know what I mean? I'm out of breath. And I've been talking for 5 minutes. That's how fucking unfit I am. I was watching Ireland's Fittest Families on fucking TV today, and I was like, I would fucking die if I fucking did that. They should do what Ireland's Fattest Families. They're the ones that need to be fucking doing exercise. The fit families are grand. Yeah, off you go. You're all good. Ireland's Fattest Families. Get a bunch of fat cunts there, fucking running laps and trying to climb up. First of all, it'd be hilarious trying to watch fat people climb up a wall. And trying to do all these athletic sort of feats. But and they need the exercise. So out with Ireland's Fittest Family, fucking in with Ireland's Fattest Family. Do it. Make the prize a lifetime of Ozempic or something. Do you know what I mean? A lifetime's worth of Ozempic. But I enjoy my solitude now. I love solitudes. Like back in London, you know, I would spend 70% of my day on my own, fucking writing, editing, doing admin-y shit, fucking jerking off, stuff, eating, all the rest. So when I come home to Ireland, all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, I'm just surrounded by people 24/7, and you're not used to it, and it takes a while to fucking readjust. Like, 'cause I'm living with my mum, and she's just always pottering around the house, and you're just fucking constantly like, trying to just like, I'd be with her, and then I'd be like, do you know what, I have to fucking. I think there was one day I pretended to have to take a shit because I was like, I just need this, like, I need a break. I need to be by myself for an extended period of time, just to fucking, I don't know. I'm just not used to having to constantly interact with people all day. I've readjusted now. But I find like with Christmas, it's like you get back and it's like it's the most wonderful time of the year for about 10 minutes. Then you're like, oh fuck, I just want to go back to fucking London and just sit in me fucking sit in my bedroom and watch fucking Squid Game or whatever, But no, it was nice. Catch up with people, friends, family. Did a run of gigs there this week that were great. I honestly was dreading them. Because I don't know, I have a fucking something with gigging in Dublin. I don't know what it is. I think it's because there's just one place where, and thank God the gigs all went amazing. Fantastic stuff. Delighted. They all went well. But there's just one venue where there's gigs on, and I think one of the times I did it there a while ago, you get like, sometimes there's rooms when you're a comedian and you do a gig and it's horrendous, and then that room is just cursed for you. You just get PTSD anytime you walk into the fucking building. It all comes flooding back in, and it's like, oh fuck. So there's this particular building, and I've had multiple. So I remember one of the very first spots I did, and I was down in that basement, and I think it was around, maybe a few months in, because I remember it was in the New Year's, and I went on maybe into the start of 2020, and I went on stage, and I was like, oh, my New Year's resolution is I'm gonna stop touching kids. Silence. And then there's just this fat American woman in the front row. She's like, oh, good one. And then I was like, I'm just joking, I'd never give up that. And then you've just had this room full of people just staring at me, and I was just like, oh, what have I done? That was brutal. One of the worst bombs I've ever had. And then just loads of comedians down the back just judging you, and you're like, oh fuck. And then like, that was in that building, and then there was the room upstairs. It used to be downstairs, and then upstairs there's this fella who used to run this thing called Minty's Indie Club, run by this guy, and it was just fucking chaos, like, just absolutely. It was just music and poetry and whatever, but they let comedians go on. There would just be absolutely fucking zero respect for the comedians. Just abuse, shouting at you, and whoa, you. Just absolute fucking scroats just shouting at you. And so I had plenty of those sort of in my head that were brutal. And then I did the place where I started stand up, this thing called the Circle Sessions, which is a fucking kind of, it'll always have a place in my heart because it's where I started. But it was it could be, when I wanted to be, it could be a very pretentious, circle jerky sort of spoken word poetry. I don't know if I hate anything more in life than spoken word poetry. Just the most. I hate it. There's a special place in hell for spoken word poets. That might be one of the punishments in hell, is that you have to, sit in something and then listen to some non-binary person just say some shit that doesn't rhyme. That could be it. But I remember I did that gig once, and it was when I moved back to Ireland at the end of 2022, and I was on stage, and I was doing this pedo joke or whatever, you know me, pedo joke, and I think some guy got up and came back from the bathroom. He sat back down the front row, and I just did this pedo joke. It bombed, and then he started wiping his hands on his trousers, and I was like, "What's going on?" And he was like, "Oh, my hands are just a bit damp." And I was like, "Oh yeah, are you a bit kind of clammy? Are you clamming up because I was talking about fucking kids or whatever?" And then this just old woman then in the second row was just like, "No," just started waving her arms, and she was like, "No, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't say that." And I was just like, "What?" She was like, you cannot joke about paedophilia." And I was just like, "Are you fucking?" I was like, "Shut up!" Like, I'm not. I was like, "Just because you didn't find it funny doesn't mean that's not funny." And then she was just like, "Well, yeah, no, it's not funny." And I was like, "Well, some people laughed." And then she was like, "Well, they shouldn't have," which is the neck to be like, which people shouldn't have been laughing at that. And then some fag, I hate using that word. Actually, no, I don't. I love it. But some dude was just like, "No, you shouldn't say that." And it's like, what do you if you're a dude and like what? I'm like, I was just like, "Are you trying to get laid? Like, is there a woman here you're trying to impress or whatever?" And he was like, "No, you can't say that." And I was like, "Yeah, I can. And then there's just some woman sitting there then. And when I said people were laughing, she's kind of stuck her head. She's like, "I wasn't laughing." I was like, "I don't fucking care. I didn't say everyone was laughing. I certainly don't fucking care what you were doing, you fucking bitch." And then the host was just sitting there, and he was like, "I was only supposed to do 5 minutes," and then this was already at like minute 8 or something, because it just went, and he just sat there and kind of let it fucking unfold. And he kind of sat there and half-heartedly went, "Listen, guys, we usually just say if you have a problem with somebody's act, you wait till the end, whatever." And I was like, "Oh, it's fine." "It's fine, Seamus, I've got this." And I was playing to there was about 3 lads down the back, I think, who were loving it. Whoever those lads are, God fucking bless you. They were having a whale of a time, but everyone else in the room fucking hated me. Oh boy! So I said, "Do you know what? I'm just doing the rest of my set. I'm just gonna do pedo jokes. I'm gonna whip out all the bad pedo jokes I have in my arsenal that are probably all shit that I've retired, but now I'm just gonna fucking do them now." So I just did it, and I was like, "This is all your fault. This is all your fault. I was gonna do one pedo joke and move on, but because you decided to fucking, you wanted to seem like a fucking savior or something, well, now this is what you get. This is another 5 minutes of pedo jokes." And then she was like an old lady, so I made some throwaway remark about being like, "You should be in bed. Like, what are you even doing out here? Get back to the nursing home," or blah blah blah, whatever. And then their daughter was there. I think they were trans or something. They just kind of, I don't know, they had that look. Sorry, that was terrible to say, but they did. And then they were like, they raised their hands like, "Are you being ageist now? On top of everything, are you being ageist?" And I was like, Yeah, I am. I'm being ageist. I hate your fucking smelly old granny or whoever the fuck that is. What are you doing here? You've only got weeks to live. What are you doing here? You know. Um, but the thing is, I'm a good guy. I would have if I was on the bus and she got on, I'd let her have my seat. You know. Um, but yeah, and then that was unfortunately, I was like, you know what? It's probably the last time I'm gonna do the out circle sessions, even though, like I said, it'll always have a special place in my heart because I mean, yeah, they gave me my very first spot, and they were the first place. They were the only place I could do gigs for the first few whatever weeks or months of my career, quote unquote. Um, but so yeah, that room has just been. And the last time I did that room, and maybe not the last time, but recently enough, then I was doing a gig, and it was going horrendously. And then there's just this woman in the second row, and she just took it upon herself to just start chatting to her friend. And I just stopped. And I was like, what is this? What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, we're just saying that we just don't really think you're funny. We just don't think you're funny." I was just, "Oh, you bitch. Oh, here we go." And I'll be the first to admit I am probably not the best person when it comes to dealing with hecklers. In the sense that I can kind of go from not to 60 very quickly, because I just straight away just heavily implied that she was a street whore, and that went down like a fucking bag of fucking whatever, hammers, AIDS, whatever the expression is, lead balloon. There we go. And she was just staring. Everyone was just staring at me. And then I think I said something like, "Oh, well, I hope your kid." I asked, was she in a relationship? And she was like, "No." And I was like, or she said yes, and I was like, "Oh, well, there's a surprise. Can't believe someone's fucking you." And when you're saying these things and people aren't on your side, you come across as the biggest cunt on the face of the earth. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm not surprised no one's fucking you at the moment, you annoying cunt." And I was like, "Do you have kids?" And then she's like, "I do have kids." And I was like, "Well, God help those children, with having a mother like you." Like, what am I saying? And then she was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Ah yeah, yeah. Well, I hope your kids, when they grow up and they're adults, your kid's gay." And I go, "Fuck them," and all this. Oh God, man, just outrageous. And and then I said, "Well, I don't know." I said something. She was like, "I think you should leave," and I was like, "I think you should shut the fuck up. I've got another 5 minutes, and I am doing my time, baby. I'm doing my time. I ain't going anywhere." So I've had multiple bad experiences in that venue. So now I have this fucking like a PTSD, like fucking. Anytime I even see the building, I'm like, "Ooh." And then sure enough, then whatever day I was in there, the second night I was in there, there was like a work Christmas party, um, a belated work Christmas party. They're absolutely fucking rat arsed on the bag, fucking, and you can hear like they were just ruining the first half of the show, heckling, talking, interrupting or whatever, and you're just in the back, just seething, like you were just visualizing murdering these people, and fucking at the break they warned them. They're like, "We're gonna kick you out if you don't fucking behave yourselves." And I think they actually did try to kick them out, and they were like, "Please, no, we want to stay," or whatever. And they're like, "All right, okay." The minute you say anything, I go on first and second half. The minute I start speaking, they start. Wee! And they're like, "Right, you're getting kicked out." They got kicked out in the middle of my set, so I'm there trying like fucking, and I'm such a pussy. Like down the back, I was there like, I hope they fucking kick them out and fucking shoot them like dogs. And then I'm on stage and they're getting kicked out, And I'm like, oh, what's going on? Because I have to address it. It's a small room. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And then the fella's there like, well, like I suppose we're just not allowed to laugh. And it's just like, well, lad, like it's not. It's obviously not that, is it? You're on the bag, and you're on probably on the dole as well. So like, fucking listen, I can't say anything. I'm on the dole as well. Um. So Dolex. That's what I became. That was a line I was very proud of the other day. My friend got a Rolex, and then I said, I don't have a Rolex, I have a Dolex. And it was a little fucking cheap black rubber watch that I have for, that's not important. I just didn't even need to mention that stupid Dolex thing. But, yeah, and then they got kicked out, and then I had to, like, I was just such a pussy. I was like, oh, well, no, well, that's a shame. Well, it's whatever, thanks. And then they got booted out, and then, but then thankfully, then, like, all the gigs went swimmingly, and they were very pleasant. My friend, one of my best mates, and his wife came in to watch, which is always daunting because you're like, oh my god, I don't want to bomb, because then they'll be like, is this the thing you've been working on for 4 years, and you're shit? Wow, that's sad. Um, but thankfully it went well. The gigs went well, and that's the main thing. But yeah, back to London on Tuesday. Fucking hang on, I need to go off my fucking hoodie, or do I? Fuck, I don't know, man. Fucking menopause has got me fucking. Hang on there, 2 seconds. I know I'm gonna take this off now, and then I'm gonna be. Hang on. There we go. That's a bit better. Oh, now I'm just in my bra and panties. Anyway, so yeah, I need to get my fucking shit together now, and I go back, lose weight, and just fucking, cause I need. Do you know what I need? I need fucking. Because when you get I got a personal trainer once, and it was good because when you give them your money, now there's what's the word I'm looking for? There's something on you're like, I've given this guy money. There's what's the fucking word? Jesus Christ, tits on a fucking toddler. There is someone who is reliant on you. That's not the right word. Holding you accountable. There we go. Because you're like, yeah, here's whatever X amount of money, and they're gonna be at the gym at that time. You have to meet them there, so you can't really fucking blow them off. Insert gay joke, and so you have to do it, but I can't afford. I can't afford a PT. I can't afford the gym. I can't afford. I was thinking that they need to have, like, do you know those kind of starving kids in Africa sort of appeals that are on telly, for the Red Cross or whatever, and that's just like, for £3 a month you can feed the baby with the big belly and the fucking the flies on its face or whatever. They need to. I think it'd be very nice if they did them, except it was for really like fat, gross people who can't afford the gym or personal trainers. Like just a reverse adverts. Like, it's the Red Cross, and it's just me. Like me, for example, just lying in my own filth, just fucking quality street rappers, fucking chocolate on my face, whatever. And I'm lying there, and there's flies on me as well. I've also got a big belly, but for different reasons. They've got a distended belly from malnutrition. I've got just a belly. And it's like, for £3 a month, you can help Rob get a personal trainer and get him into a gym. Because, I mean, look at him. No one's fucked him in years. And he has no motivation. Everyone's making fat jokes, so please donate £3 a month so Rob can get his fucking shit together. I think that would be very nice. I would appreciate that. I'll write to the Red Cross and see if we can fucking sort that out, because I need that. I need someone to hold me accountable, because I don't have any willpower when it comes to food. I have willpower in the sense that I I I I've I have discipline when it comes to making sure that I eat shit every day. Like I'm disciplined about that. Like it's like I will make sure that I eat shit every day. Don't you can count on that, and I'll make sure that I jerk off at least twice a day. If I could channel that if I could channel that into healthy, you know, um, lifestyle choices, then I'd be laughing. I'd be fucking laughing. But like when you think about it, you know, I think it's the most obvious sort of indicator of how unfair life is that like, you know, there's people in Africa or wherever that are starving. They're literally ill from lack of food. They're dying. They're sick and dying from lack of food. And then at the same time, at least once a week, I'll make myself sick from eating too much food. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll eat myself into illness when there's people that are ill from not eating at all. Like I'll eat myself into like a food coma, and there'll be people in actual comas because I ate enough food to feed a whole family in Africa, in the space of about 5 minutes, and but no, do you know what? To be honest, with the food thing, you know what I mean. Like fuck off. Like I've given up everything. I've given up drugs, alcohol, cigarettes. You know, you're not getting my food. You're not. You can fuck off. I don't care. You're not taking the one fucking thing I have in this life. The one thing that gives me hope. Fucking Ben and Jerry's Caramel Sutra. The one fucking thing that gives me fucking hope. But I mean, I need to get my. I saw a photo of myself today from back when I was doing MMA. I was about 68 kg, something like that, and now I'm about 87, which is just chaos. Like that's probably the best shape I've been in. Was doing that. I remember going for that. I was working in the garage, Topaz, which was, you know, it's funny. They talk about something that jaded me. When I started that job, I was fucking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and and then I just worked. It's the same as stand-up. It's like, because when you do stand-up every night, you're meeting just so many people, volumes and volumes of people. And then when you're working in a busy garage, you're just meeting so many people every day. So you're getting exposed to humans. And you realise that most humans are cunts. Or they're retarded. Or they're retarded cunts. Which is the worst combination. So, and it just jaded me. It made me lose faith in the sort of the human race, and it made me lose faith in humanity, and it made me question whether people were actually decent. I should have been sacked from that job at least 3 times. One time I falsely accused a guy of stealing. I was just down the back fucking stocking shelves, doing my fucking business. Turn around, I see a guy, and I swore he'd opened a box of Tic Tacs, emptied them into his hand, and then closed them and put them back in the thing. And his kids were there. I saw him do that, and then I was like, "Oh, you gonna pay for that?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "You gonna pay for the Tic Tacs?" And he's like, "I didn't open them. I was just joking around with my kids." And then I was like, "Oh boy, I shouldn't have said anything." And then I just walked away, and he was like, "No, excuse me now, come back here." And I was like, "What?" He's like, you just falsely accused me of stealing. That's defamation." And I was like, "Oh, is it? Yeah, well, yeah, my bad, whatever, as you were." He's like, No, this is very serious. Where's your manager?" And at the time I was working with this absolute fucking retard who was just absolute space cadet. He was on the till. Not my manager. If anything, I was probably above him. And I was like, yeah, that's him there on the fucking till, the fucking dope on the till. He goes, all right, goes over to him, and I just see him having a go at him, pointing at me, and then I just hear a man going, "Oh, did he tell you I was his manager?" I was like, I've no fucking clue what's going on here. And so your man comes back to me like, you think that's funny, do you? You think that's funny telling me that he's your manager? I was like, your job's gone. Your job's gone. I'm going to come back in tomorrow. I'm going to talk to your manager. Because we're not, like, accusing people of stealing is not, like, that's a fucking death sentence, like, because you fucking, they could take you to court for defamation, blah, blah, blah. So your man left then, and I was like, well, I don't have a job anymore. This is fantastic. I am fucked. I think I rang my dad. I was like, right, well, I think I've lost my job. Went in the next day. Didn't hear anything. Didn't hear anything. I don't know what happened. I don't know why your man, if he just maybe he died. Maybe he left that garage and he got fucking, what's the word, T-boned coming off the M50, and maybe that's what happened to him. Maybe, one can only hope, because I can't think of any. The other reason, the other way, the situation that I found myself in where I could have got fired was, when we dealt with food, so we would have to do, there's HACCP laws and stuff, fucking food safety and yada yada yada. So when you sell food or hot products or fucking, cold items or whatever, you have to do temperature checks in the fridges and the freezers and the blah 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 and all sort of stuff. So you'd have to do temperature checks of the walk-in freezer, the big walk-in freezer, but no one did it. No one ever checked the fucking thing, because it's the same temperature every single day, -20, whatever. So you'd never do it. You just go and you'd fill in the paperwork and you'd go, yeah, checked it, it's whatever, checked it at 5 o'clock, -20, blah blah blah. So one day I was on, I didn't check it. I said I did. Turns out some fucking spastic, one of my supervisors who'd microdose mushrooms, he went into the walk-in freezer, didn't close it properly, and the fridge, basically the walk-in freezer, basically defrosted itself, and thousands of euro worth of stock was destroyed. And I would have, it was preventable, because if I actually did go and check the temperature of the walk-in freezer, I would have caught it before it all defrosted, but I didn't. And I lied about checking the temperature, and it actually transpires that it's illegal to do that, because that food is then getting sold to the public, and if the food has gone bad and you sell it to the public and someone gets ill, no bueno. So that next day, the shit hit the fan. You're like, it's one of those moments where, like, do I commit to the lie? Do I say, no, I checked the fucking freezer, I fucking did all that, or do you just fucking come clean? And I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy, so I stuck to the lie. Because I just feel like that's, yeah, sometimes you, in life, you do have to make that call. You're like, do I stick to the lie, or do I just fucking fold? In that moment, I chose to stick to the lie. And obviously, it didn't work. They knew I didn't check the thing. And for whatever reason, I didn't get sacked. I think the boss took a shine to me. My dad used to teach him in secondary school, so he kind of had a little bit of a soft spot for me. And it was great. I think I got too close with him, because he, like there'd be days where I'd go in to start my shift, and I was supposed to go off and let we used to share the car wash duty, and I was supposed to go in and, like, relieve him of his duties, and I'd go in and we'd sit in the office, and then we'd shoot the shit for about 25 minutes, and I'd be like, oh, shouldn't I go and let fucking Abdul off the car wash? And he's like, fuck him, he'd be grand. And we sit there and just chat shit and, just like telling me shit that, employees aren't supposed to know about their managers. Just like, yeah, sure, fucking, I was selling coke and I was this and that. And, and then, yeah, then I fucked off from there to work in, where did I leave? Went to work in a coffee shop, lasted about 3 weeks. Fucking hated it. Like, I can't stand when people get fucking snobby about their fucking coffee. Like, oh, this is too hot and there's not enough fucking. Oh, it's like, I think it's just the height of privilege, the height of first world problems. It's people not liking how their coffee's made. When there's the aforementioned, dehydration and starvation in the world, and some fucking cunt is like, sorry, I said there's just something here wrong with the temperature of the. You just had people complaining about it being too hot or too cold. I think one day I just had a fucking panic attack, and I rang my old boss, Topaz, and I was like, dude, please take me back. I made a mistake. I'll never leave you again. But yeah, working in a garage was good crack, man. I learned. I mean, it made me lose faith in people, but it's good crack. I learned more working in a fucking garage in 2 years than I did in school and in art college. I swear to God, I learned more important life skills and more about human beings when I was working than in that garage than when I was fucking pissing around in fucking school. But yeah, anyway, that's I'm sorry, I am ill. But yeah, it just reminds me that I don't know if I'd mentioned when I was talking about when I was in good shape. When I was doing Wim to Warrior, like that whole thing, I think I was actually working in that garage when I did that. And I don't know how I fucking got into it. I heard I was starting to get into MMA, because of fucking McGregor. That fucking wronging. And God, I hope he's really on his fucking way out. He is donezo. But yeah, and I was like, I found this thing, Wimp to Warrior. They fucking, I know I touched on it briefly with some episode there recently, and I saw that and I was like, right, you train for 5.5 months. You train every 5 days a week or 6 days a week for 5.5 months, and then you have a big fight night at the end. All your friends and family come, and I was like, yeah, fuck, I need to do something mad to just get myself out of this fucking rut. Like, so, signed up for the trials for it. Where I can't remember where it was. It was out in SBG. There's the trials, and trials were probably one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life, physically. Like the whole it was like fucking like that Navy SEALs fucking, what's they call it, SEAL Week or Shark Week or whatever the fuck, where they try to break you down and fucking what's it called again with the Navy SEALs. Basically, they condense that into one day, like a 5-hour session where they just try and break people and see if you can stick it out, if you can survive, and the people who survive then get considered for a spot on the course. Like, just outrageously difficult endurance, fitness, fucking things. When I got home from it, my hands were bleeding, my feet were bleeding, I vomited a few times. They had bins along the sides of the mats and in the fucking, on the floor of the gym for people to vomit. Like, it was fucking mental when I think about it. And it's basically, and some people quit, some people walked off the mats. They were like, fuck this, I ain't doing this shit. But, whatever reason, I've got, I'm very fortunate. I've got, quote unquote, that dog in me when I want to have it. When I have my mindset on something, I'm like, I've got that little fucking psychopathic fucking like, I will not surrender. I've got that fucking in me, like. So I survived the tryout thing, got selected for it. And then it was like, right, got selected for it. And then I had to pay for it, which was, I don't know, like $2,000 or something. And I had no money, so then I ended up selling. To this day, I think it broke my father's heart. It broke my heart. I sold a bass guitar that I got for my 21st. I think the whole thing combined was about 600 quid with the case included, and then I sold it then for about 350 quid to some cunt who probably couldn't believe the fucking, like, how little he was paying for it. Because that's all I could get for it. I sold the keyboard that I had. I sold a bunch of other shit just so I could get enough money to get it to go and do this fucking thing. Cause I just had my fucking sights set and I was like, I'm doing this fucking thing. I want to do this. I want to have a fucking MMA fight. Just no fucking like thought of like the risk or the danger, like where is this actually gonna lead to. I was like, just fucking, I need to do something mad. That'd be my advice to anyone who, because I think someone said that to me. Someone came to me for advice about their own kids, and they were like, "Oh, my kid has struggled with mental health issues, and he's in his mid-20s. He doesn't know what he's doing with his life." I've always just been like, well, just go and do something mad. Go and do something. I don't mean like, rent a car and then drive it down fucking Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Like, that's not gonna fucking, we'll get to that in a bit. But I mean, like, go and do something. Get out of your comfort zone. Go do something mental. Go to fucking wherever. Go hang out with black people. No, sorry, that was. I mean, if that's getting outside your comfort zone, if hanging out with black people is outside your comfort zone, then go and do it. Go and do it. No, just whatever. I went and I, travelled, went to North Korea, fuck it, whatever. Did some mad shit, whatever. Stand up even. That's how I got into this. But yeah, it'll just open up doors and whatever. Yeah, expand your fucking horizons and blah 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 blah, whatever. But so I got selected for this thing. Ended up selling a load of shit to be able to afford it. And then there's this little problem of the SPG was on the Nace Road, which is a fair bit away from where I lived at the time. I didn't have a car because I'm just a useless fucking piece of shit who didn't learn to drive. So what I had to do there, to get there for 6:30 every morning for 5 months without a car. If it was at another time of the day, it would have been alright, but I had to. There was no. The first Lewis, which is a tram, to the Nace Road. The first Lewis wasn't till 6:10. That was at 6:10. So then I had to be in town then for about 6:05. So that means I'd get up at 5:30 a.m. I'd jump on a fucking bike. I'd cycle into town, piss and rain, sleet, snow, jizz, whatever. What was the crack? We're supposed to get fucking snow in Ireland, and I got my hopes up, and it's just been pissing. It's just been fucking pissing rain. Fuck me, Aaron. They're always fucking getting my hopes up about fucking snow, and then you look out your window and it just looks like, Anyway, I digress. So I'd cycle in every single fucking day, 5:40 a.m. 5:45. Go in, cycle, get there, bang on 6:30. Didn't even have time to warm up. Train and spar and getting the shit beaten out of you. Fucking strength and conditioning. Do you know what I mean? Like, doing that, I don't know how the fuck I did it, to be honest with you. I don't know how the fuck this fat piece of shit ever got up at fucking 5. And that was around that time I was getting mad into fucking like David Goggins and Jocko Willink. And you have to get up at 3 a.m. and just fucking stare at yourself in the mirror and fucking in an ice bath until you fucking go numb, and then you just complete ownership and fucking all this intense fucking shit, which has some merit. Like, some of it's fucking good, but some of it is absolutely fucking totally unnecessary. And I managed to do that, and yeah, I mean, incredible fucking experience. I mean, the whole thing, you know, it's no harm, you know, knowing one or two things about, you know, fighting, and, you know, not that I'd be in a rush to do it, but it's nice to have that little bit of knowledge. Then there was, and I kept getting injured. Oh my god, the lads would fucking, all the other lads would take the fight. I remember one day in training, I got the shit beaten out of me by a woman. That was a humbling day. That was a humbling day. Because in your head, you're thinking there, like, oh, I'm sparring with the lady now. I'll go easy in your head, because you think that you could just beat up any woman just because you're a man and she's a woman. And you just completely forget that, like, okay, yeah, some women can just beat the shit out of you because they're better at fighting. This woman, this bitch pieced me up, man. She pieced me up big time, slapped me around the place. And it was just before the bell went, because then, like, in the moment I was like, do I need to, like, hit her, like, proper hard to just kind of remind her, like, what's going on here, like, strength wise, like, because she was laying into me and I was holding back a little bit, but, like, she caught me. I think she was throwing, like, full force, like, you know, and she caught me and my head fucking snapped back and buzzed me a little bit. And then I remember being in that moment being like, do I just, like, clock her now to just put her back in her box? Do you know what I mean? Like, or else, like, just a little body shot, like, fucking sit down, you know? It's a man's world. Just fucking douche right in the breadbasket. But I didn't. So that was humbling. I used to spar sometimes with this fella, Andrew, great skin. I think he was from Tala, and whenever we sparred, we would just beat the fucking shit out of each other. Again at like fucking 6 a.m. Grey fucking crack. There was a kind of a smelly Eastern European guy who was really gangly, and he'd wear the craziest clothes to train, and what was his name again? Was it Andre or something? And like a week before the fight night thing, he just fucking disappeared and was like, yeah, I'm not actually gonna fight. And he fucked off. And who else was there? This guy Damo. Anyway, loved that guy. We got along like a house on fire. And there was an interesting thing that happened where, you know, there was a woman that was a lesbian. I think it was actually the woman that beat the shit out of me. Lesbians and gays at each other's throats a tale as old as time. And I went out one day after training with some of the lads that were doing it, and at the time I was only 24, 25, so I was one of the youngest people doing it. And then I went out then for like breakfast with some of the other lads, and they're all older, like 40 plus, and they were sitting there and they started, oh, you know, your one is gay and blah blah blah, and then they started like, you know, being like, oh, do you think anyone else is gay in the fucking thing? There's about, I'm trying to think how many of, was 60 of us or something like that. And excuse me. And I just sat there, froze, and I just didn't have the wherewithal. I didn't have I just couldn't say that I couldn't bring myself to be like, oh, actually, funny you should say that, I am gay. I know, it's mad. I just didn't have it in me. I just fucking sat there, just like, oh yeah, I don't know, it could be anyone, you know. And I hated myself after that. I hated myself. I was like, what's wrong with you that you can't fucking just say that you're gay? Like, what the fuck? I couldn't. It was in that moment I was like, yeah, I've got some shit I need to fucking work on. If I can't, I don't know, I found it intimidating. And then your man, one of the lads, dropped me back to the train station, and then on the way there I was just chatting to him. I was like, yeah, I don't know why I didn't say this back there, but I am gay myself. And he was like, fuck off, you serious? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, fuck, Jesus, I wouldn't have fucking been able to tell. And I was like, I know, yeah, I know. I was like, why didn't you say anything? I was like, I don't know, I just fucking, and it happens to this day. Like, there's just days where I always used to say this, that where, like, whenever I would start a new job, you'd have to come out. Each time you did a new job, you'd have to come out because you just turn up. I think when I started working in Topaz, I just pretended I was straight for the best part. Like fucking 3 months, like people would come in and lads would be like, "Oh, fucking look at the tits on your one." I'd be like, "By God, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life." Um, like Bags of Sand, to quote the 40-year-old virgin. Great movie. And but anyway, yeah, got the fight night thing was in, I think it was June or July. I got paired off with this guy who I was good mates with. I don't know if any of this is interesting, but I'm trying my best. I don't have my right hand man Hamish with me, or a cabal of retards that we could laugh at. But I'm trying here. I'm trying, guys. But yeah, I. So yeah, then I got paired with this lad who I was good. What happened was there was this production company, this TV company. I don't even know if that's fucking interesting, is it? Yeah, well, they came in and they were like, they wanted to maybe make, like, put it on RTE, like on Irish television. So they sent like a production company in to film one of the training sessions, one of the sparring sessions. And for some reason they picked me. They picked me to be one of the people that they were going to focus on. So they recorded a sparring session there with this guy, the pair of us. Maybe I'll put the video up on the Patreon. Yeah, if I can find the video, I'll put it on the Patreon. It's just me and him just fucking lumping the head off each other. And that went so well that they were like, I think we should pair them together on the fight night. And then later that day, then the film crew came to my house to interview me. And my brothers were here. And they set up the lights and the cameras or whatever. Sitting there, and then they interviewed me, and they were like, "Well, why did you get into Wim to Warrior or whatever?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And then I just started crying. I started crying. Fuck me. I was just like, "It saved my life. I was in such a bad place. It saved my life. I owe everything to John Cameron." And I think they were like, "Oh Jesus." Or else they were like, RT's gonna love this. Get the fucking contracts out. We got a guy crying. Zoom in on his tears. So I think they pitched it to RT with that footage. And I think RT might have gone, one look at my wailing, fucking moaning Myrtle shtick. They were like, yeah, we're gonna pass on the crying homo MMA thing. So sorry, Wim to Warrior, if it didn't get picked up because of that. But and then like I got injured. Like I had so many injuries through the whole thing. My shoulders, my fucking knees, my ankles, my fucking what else? Everything was just fucked. My jaw at one point, just like everything. Got to the fight night. It was out in some hotel somewhere. It's almost 1,000 people at it. Absolutely breaking it. All my friends and family were there. And I spoke about, I won't repeat myself because I spoke about there. What it was some episode there with I can't remember. But yes, one of the crazier things I've done in my life was having a fucking MMA fight. And by God, I wouldn't change a thing. It was the fucking best. One of the best things I've ever done. I've never felt more alive. Never felt more alive, let me tell you. It felt like I'd fucking ripped a fucking apps, just caned a load of fucking ketamine and just fucking, yeah, man. Good times. Good times. But then I obviously had to pack that all into fucking, because of my stupid brain. I've noticed this, right? If you're 30 or younger, don't say you're feeling older or you're feeling old in front of people who are like 50 or above, because they get fucking weird and cagey and defensive and like fucking like they're gatekeeping getting older. They're like, oh, you think you're old? Wait till you get to my age. Or we'll get a load of this fucking guy. He says he feels old. He's only 30. And like, yeah, really. I don't know if anyone else has had that. Like, I made the mistake the other night of saying, like, in front of my uncles, like, oh, yeah, now just the thing, he's getting older. And they're like, they all start laughing, like, this condescending, you think you're old? You think? And you're like, oh, this is so fucking predictable. You think you're old? Wait till you get to our age. Wait till you're in your 60s and 70s. I was like, yeah, why are you gatekeeping aging? Like, what is this like? It's like, yeah, I am feeling older. I am now 30. I am no longer in my 20s. Things aren't working the way they used to. Life is, I'm becoming fully aware and conscientious of the horrors of life and the things that are bad and that will never change. But you know what? I'm not as old as you, so none of that matters, and I should just shut up. And yeah, I hate it. So no, I just now I just don't even mention anything along those lines in front of them because it just turns into this fucking, oh yeah, you've no way till you get to my age. I just feel like being like, yeah, I know I'm not as old as you fucking stupid old cunt, but I am still feeling older. But with FIFA, and I can't justify sitting down and playing video games anymore because you're just sitting there and you're playing whatever, Call of Duty, FIFA, Sims, whatever, and you're like, what am I doing? It's like I've got a finite amount of time on this fucking planet. I cannot just be sitting here playing fucking Call of Duty, just killing strangers. That being said, I'll happily spend 30 minutes jerking off. But jerking off it's a human right. It's a necessity. It's a thing you need to do to, stay sane. But, the Call of Duty, anything like that, I just sit there and I'm like, I cannot justify this any longer. I cannot justify sitting in front of a thing. I'm just getting nothing from it. They say time that you enjoy wasting isn't time wasted. There's something to that, but I think overall, I just, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't enjoy it. Because you just feel like I am wasted. I could be doing something productive right now. I could be wanking. I'll probably have a wank after I record this episode. I'll be honest with you, but yeah. I don't even know how I got to that with the PlayStation and the Xbox and whatever. But over Christmas Day, it was great. I got to sneak off and play. It was a good kind of, because it can be a lot, like Christmas. I was over at my dad's and stuff, and with my brothers and whatever, and then my extended family from my stepmother's side were there. And I can just get a lot. I can get overwhelmed trying to talk to so many fucking people, and then my little brother dipped off to play UFC on the Xbox. I was like, oh, fucking sweet. This is my out. In there playing fucking Xbox with him. Talking to him, shooting the shit with him, what's going on in his life. And then him just talking about going into first year brings all that shit back for me. And I'm like, oh boy, am I so not envious of you. And all that shit with school and fucking teachers. And there's one day we were playing FIFA and he said the N-word. Swear to God, this little white boy said the N-word. And I was like, you can't be saying that. Like, and he was like, no, it's fine. Yeah, I can say it because there's no black people around. And I'm like, I mean, you're not wrong. Still, don't say it. You just can't say it. And he was like, well, why not? And I was like, well, you just can't do it. You can't say the N-word. And he's like, well, if they're not around, then why can't I say it? And I was like, because, and it's hard to fucking try and explain to a 13-year-old the ins and outs of, because on paper there really is no reason for us to not say it when there's no black people around, because the reason we don't say it is because it's so incredibly offensive and hurtful to black people. But if there's no black people around, then why aren't we, do you know what I mean? it's a very weird thing. It's very hard to explain it to a 13-year-old. I was like, well, no, you just can't. And he was like, why? And I was like, because it's very offensive to black people. And he's like, well, if they're not around, then why can't we say it? And it's just like, I don't know, because it also makes some white people feel uncomfortable. There's, some white people get very fucking uncomfortable if they hear that word. So you just don't say it, dude. Just don't say it. But I don't know if it fell on deaf ears. At least he had the part down about not saying it in front of black people. I think that's good. At least he has that part down. We can work from there. I should have bought myself some time and maybe suggested that you have to wait till you're 18 to say it. Then you have to apply for, like your driver's license. You have to apply for it, then you get a license, and then you can say it. Alright guys, that's the end of the episode. Apologies, it was just myself with no camera. I do apologise. But I just had to try and make it work with everything going on. Everything will be back to normal next week. Patreon people, the Patreon episode will be out for this week, possibly later on tomorrow when I'm back in London. I've got something tasty that I'm going to experiment with, so that'll be up. If you're listening and you're not on the Patreon, consider supporting the podcast on the Patreon. There's about, 80 bonus episodes there now and 2 extra episodes each week. I try to do a solo one once a week as well when I can. So yeah, get on that. Otherwise, tell people, spread the word. And what else? I'm doing a solo show in Top Secret on the 29th. If you're in London, please do come. It's free in with donations at the end. Apart from that, Happy New Year again. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you next week. Alright, bye.